Welcome to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster, Sal, live from the AAMP.TV mobile studios here in downtown Chicago along the Riverwalk, along the Chicago River. Another glorious scene here in the big city. Today's show is brought to you by Kelly Vegas, helping people create and host their very own radio, TV, or multimedia talk show. Kelly Vegas can help them from getting out and sitting in traffic every day, going back and forth, and guess what? Maybe paddling up and down a river. Sitting in traffic and not knowing what to do. Well, guess what? Now you can do your own show in your very own home studio. For more information, contact Kelly Vegas at 949-445-1119. That's 949-445-1119. Again, 949-445-1119. Or visit them at kellyvegas.com, CALI Vegas.com. And a big welcome to everybody listening in on CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast, as well as iHeartRadio, Spotify, those streaming at thesportscircus.com, those also streaming on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, and a big hello to everybody else that's actually watching us from the bubble here right on the shores of the Chicago River. And we're going to flip it right over to our two-time Super Bowl champion and American Ninja Warrior sidekick, Tyrone Poole, and he's with Georgia State House of Representatives. That would be Dewey McClain. Look at those two.
There you go. Yes. Hey, we do it all. We were at the Georgia State Capitol. We were at Dewey McClain, Representative Dewey McClain's house. He pulled a prime time on us, everybody. He said this is his house. We were at the Georgia State Capitol, so now I know, right? Dewey time. Dewey time. Dewey house. Dewey time. So Dewey gonna tell us where we are right now, but I'm no other than two-time Super Bowl champion Tyrone Poole with Representative Dewey McClain. Dewey, where are we?
Well, I'm gonna just tell you where we are. We are at the bullpen that's located right across the street from Turner Field, and this is where a lot of us come when we are having we want a lunch. They probably got some of the best barbecue in town, the best brisket anywhere you want to eat, and I tell you, Kevin's probably one of the best cooks anywhere around. And as you can see, it's a sports area, and we just love coming here. It is called the Bull. It is called the Bullpen. So I knew you would like that. The Bullpen. You know, so you know what that means, don't you? You know what that means.
I know a little bit about the bullpen. Oh yeah. Well, I tell you what, I'll have a side. Give me a rack of baby backs. I want a big old baked potato with it. And I give you some of the other fixings with it too. That's all I want, and I'll be straight.
There you go. There you go. And when Dewey says us, you talk about like the NFLPA. We have our chapter meetings here. So the NFL Players Association. So all of the retired players that reside here in Atlanta, this is where we come. So hey,
this is where we eat ribs and brisket and chicken, and it is mouth-watering good. In fact,
you're killing me. Just knock it off already.
Wait a minute. I want, Tyrone said it wasn't an eating show because Kevin came by and he wanted to bring some food. He said, "What do y'all want?" I said, "Oh, we don't want anything because I don't think it's that kind of show."
He says, "We don't want anything. We want everything. Bring everything. Bring the whole menu."
I know, right? Bring everything. That's why they got to-go boxes. That's why they make to-go boxes, so you can get it after everything is over. That's what they do after the football games, after the baseball games. You eat afterwards. You perform during. We're performing right now. We're giving the sports fans, those that are watching and listening, we're giving them information, and then we're going to get them fed in the mind, and then after the game, they go feed the stomach.
I'll tell you what, as soon as we're done with this show, I'm going to strap on the feed bag and I'm going to eat as much as I possibly can while I'm on the run getting away so I don't sit in a bunch of traffic over here in Chicago. Hey, listen, guys, right from the outset, I got a really cool story, really cool announcement here. Now, we're gonna start off right at the very top with an HBCU moment. And this is something that we're trying to bring into the show on a regular basis because everybody needs a little bit of love. But how about this? According to HBCU Game Day, 6 students from the Central Intercollegiate Athletic Association, we'll call the CIAA. Those schools, including 5 student athletes, were recently selected to participate in the NFL's Event and Club Business Development Experience-ship program. How do you like that? Good stuff. Very exciting. Now, a little bit more about that. So here, real quick, we have Corey Cooper, a football player of Shaw University. Marcus Davis, a football player of St. Augustine's University. Cedar Davidson, women's soccer. Christopher Brown from men's track and field of Lincoln University. Jada Strickland, women's tennis, as well as Markeisha Nelson of Johnson C. Smith University were among 32 students out of over 180 applicants selected by the NFL events, club business development, and football operations to take part in this year's program. Now, the program is a two-prong approach program serving as both mentorship and professional development program that introduces the career path of sports and event production to students. The NFL events and clubs business development departments touch all facets of the NFL, from the league office to all 32 clubs, providing participants unprecedented access to one of the most prominent sports in the world and their leagues. A big round of applause for them. And see, this is really good because, guys, this is for, look, whether they're football players, soccer players, basketball players, track and field, whatever. The NFL is opening its doors and saying, come on in. We want to teach you how it works in our business, and we want you to be a part of our programs.
Yes, and I call it the new Power Four. Now, that term, I don't know if anybody else has coined that term. When I say the Power Four, we talk about the Power Five. Power 5, SEC, ACC, Pac-12, Big 10, Big 12. But you know what? We got the Power 4 in the HBCU, the CIAA, which you just talked about. Then we got the SIAC, SWAC. Then we have MEAC. So those are the Power 4 in HBCU conferences. So this is a great deal. It's a big deal. For me, it shows continuous movement and progression. What we have to do now is take advantage of these opportunities, so there cannot be any more crying foul ball that we're not being invited. We all may not be being invited at one time, but we are getting opportunities. So now we got to cash in on it. So kudos to the NFL again, and also the NBA. They've done things as well during this crazy year and time. So it's great to see sports figures, big times sports institutions coming together and realizing that people matter. So I love it.
And you have to do that. If you don't do that, something is wrong. I'm sorry. We have to do that because the opportunity is there. And what we've got to do is once these 5 students, graduate, and then we follow them and track them and make sure that to show other folks that, that we can do a hand up. And I say, I'm like Tyrone, kudos. The NFL should do this. The NBA should do it, Major League Baseball, because those schools need the same type of learning and training that the big colleges do as well.
I would agree. And the one part I like about it is, look, there's paying special attention to the HBCUs. But you know what I'd love to see, Dewey? Look, you as a lawmaker in the state of Georgia in the House of Representatives, I would love to see something done on all levels and all universities. Doesn't matter whether it's an HBCU or whether it is a non-HBC university. I would like to see something at a more permanent basis, not based off of, well, this event, because of this, we need this. I want to see it on a regular basis so we have the rising tide for all ships. What do you think about that one?
I love it because that helps. In fact, we didn't get a chance to go inside the chambers because we were having problems. But what I want you to understand, though, is that we try to do that mentorship program by bringing young future lawmakers, young leaders in to try to push them up, to let them know to do interns, to be pages. I've been trying to get Tyrone's children in order to be my page for a while, make them, just to see if this is, if these are the things you want to do in life. So yes, so I believe in it.
Yeah, and also I don't want this to be, I think you touched on it lightly, Sal, you mentioned it. I don't want this to be a feel-good story. I don't want this to be a one-time thing. I want it to be a continuous life commitment from these professional teams, from professional people, that change is permanent and giving everybody an opportunity. Now, life is not fair, but we should be just. So I agree with you, Sal. It should go all the way down from Division I to Division III to wherever. Give everybody an opportunity.
Absolutely. And as I see it, I say, look, for 20 years, I've been a college recruiter for an ACC school, right? And I realized that I keep interviewing kids, the freshman applicants, on the academic advisory committee. I'm like, I keep seeing the same schools over and over. How about some balance? And I'd like to see a little more balance. And this is a step in the right direction. And let's face it, if we balance the playing field for everybody, for every economic situation, then the best students will rise up, just like we had talked about in a previous episode with that quarterback that throws the ball 100 yards from Prairie View A&M. That's unbelievable, right? And so, look, what I want to see is I want to see some balance here, because I don't want to feel like, I didn't do my part in trying to help everybody progress. Look, we all bleed red. At the end of the day, that's the bottom line. So let's help everybody out and let's do the right thing. Folks, we're going to be back here with two-time Super Bowl champion and American Ninja Warrior Tyrone Poole and Mr. House of Representatives from the state of Georgia. That would be claim. Look at him go. There's the guy. Back here in just a few minutes on the Sports Circus. Don't go anywhere.
Do you have any questions about legal issues? Have you ever been stopped by a police officer and issued a ticket that you're scared to deal with? Have you ever been in trouble with the law and don't know what to do? Do you have a will or power of attorney question? Is your home being foreclosed upon and you don't know where to turn? Maybe you were given a contract that you don't understand. For freedom and a worry-free solution, call for Legal Shield today at 213-245-1305. It's that simple. You will have access to high-quality law firms that will fight for you for less than $1 a day. Peace of mind is just a call away. That's for Legal Shield. Call 213-245-1305 or visit us at nocourt.us. It's justice for all and not justice for some. Are you a small business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company has the answers you need. The American Business Trust Company can help you with startup capital, business strategy, sales and marketing, and establishing your company with a physical location or on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea, the American Business Trust Company can help with the rest. For a free evaluation, you may visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's ABTRUSTCO.com or call them at 657-600-1876. That's the American Business Trust Company, 657-600-1876. Call them today. They can help your business right away. This is Sal Tozolino, host and ringmaster of the Sports Circus. Why listen to the same old dog and pony show that you've heard all day long? The Sports Circus covers everything that other shows don't or are too scared to cover. There's no primetime show like it out here that'll punch you in the mouth and you'll beg for more. You can call in and participate with our chaos if you dare. Join me and celebrity guests for Havoc and Mayhem weekdays at 5 p.m. Pacific here on AAMP.TV or stream the show live at thesportscircus.com. Remember, folks, it's a circus and we prove it every day.
In times of economic uncertainty and chaos, your money means nothing. You may not even be able to get it from your bank or ATM. And the money you do have in the stock market will go down and down. What you can bank on is gold and silver. Gold and silver have been a reliable and trusted form of currency for thousands of years. Gold and silver have never been worth zero, and typically gold holds its value during economic turmoil. Call the Gold Hotline now and learn how to protect your money and your assets with gold and silver. And learn how to set up a new IRA or roll over your current one into a gold-backed IRA. Protect your money from the next market crash with gold and silver. Call now for your free gold guide.
800-755-4281. 800-755-4281. 800-755-4281. That's 800-755-4281.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster Sal, live from the AAMP.TV mobile studios here in downtown Chicago, along the banks of the Chicago River, and you can see the boats going by. What a glorious spot here on the Riverwalk. Thanks for joining us here today, everybody. Make sure to check out AAMP.TV, AAMP.TV. Just go ahead and Google AAMP.TV. As a matter of fact, we have our crack engineer, Sonar. He's going to tell everybody all about AAMP.TV.
AAMP.TV, like always, is a fantastic place and a wonderful community of engineers, of show hosts, of producers, of athletes, of politicians, all kinds of people trying to get their media out into the world, and AAMP.TV can help. Go to AAMP.TV, that's AAMP.TV, or send an email to info at that same address.
Round of applause. And back here with two-time Super Bowl champion and American Ninja Warrior Tyrone Poole and Mr. House of Representatives, that would be Dewey McClain from the Georgia State House of Representatives. Thanks for joining us, Big Dewey. And I see you're over there ordering some ribs for me, and you got all the fixing.
I told you, you need to make sure if you ever want some of the best ribs and the best brisket in Georgia, you need to come to the bullpen. I mean, and you can, and what you need to do is say, I want Dewey's order. I want to be treated the same way you treat Dewey, and I promise you, that'll get you a lot, kid.
Nice. Is that going to get it comped for me too? Am I going to have that on the house?
Well, the first time maybe, but after that, you know.
Okay, all right. Hey, listen, as long as it's on the house, Tyrone, the price is right.
Yeah, we let everybody know the bullpen is actually located where we are. We are right down behind the Georgia State Stadium, where the old Braves Stadium used to be. The Georgia State new football stadium. That's where
Olympic Field. Yeah, where the Olympics were held, right across the street.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, folks. If you've never been to Atlanta, in fact, I was at that stadium right before it was the Braves' last season. What a beautiful ballpark! Oh my God. And I can't believe for 20 years they used it as we're going to go ahead and build another one on the other side of town. But what a glorious park. And Georgia State is the benefactor of an amazing facility in a really good location. I stayed at that hotel right across the street from there.
Wow. And they did a great job, too, of renovating and turning it into a football stadium. Because, you know, it's kind of difficult sometimes to turn a baseball stadium into a football stadium. Now, I played with the Raiders. Now the Las Vegas Raiders, but when they were in Oakland, we used to play at the same stadium that the Athletics would play, and I hate it. Let me say that 3 times. I hate it. Yeah. I hate it. I hated playing on a baseball field, playing football, because once you got into that dirt, I'm like, it was over for a defensive back. You slipping and sliding. That dirt is hard. I'm like, come on now.
But you have to understand.
He can say I got his baseball. He said I love baseball.
Get your baseball out, because you know I played in Fulton County Stadium, which was the stadium across the street. So the Braves and the Falcons, we both played on the same field. So Tyrone, it was what we did. Our locker rooms were down, were separate. The bullpen, I keep saying the bullpen. The bullpen was also in the tunnel, and we used to just love going in the batting practice. So when practice was over, we would go to the Braves end, and we would go in the bullpen, act like we would throw some balls, but we definitely liked going through the batting cage. So it was kind of fun.
Well, either way, I don't like baseball.
Anyway,
football stadium.
I like it. But I mean, we didn't like it either because it was dirty.
Listen, we may see a World Series of our local Chicago White Sox and the Atlanta Braves. What do you think about that, guys? Now, that would be one hell of a series. What do you think?
Well, that would be a hell of a series. Maybe we can find a place down in the Battery that we could probably host a little TV show one day too. I mean, if that happens.
Well, you know,
now see,
Tyrone.
Go ahead, Sam.
Tyrone, right in front of the Omni Hotel. Right in front of the Omni Hotel. When we were there, I was there just a couple weeks back. Whatever. That's a perfect spot to do the show. What do you think?
I like it. Like you said, that was a great spot. It was right between the Roxby Theater, and then there was a stadium right in the middle between the Omni and the Roxy Theater. I'm like, it was awesome. But I got to say this now, from a financial standpoint. Now you know it's all about the money. All those listening and watching, raise your hand if you know sports is all about money. if the Chicago White Sox, I would put them kind of like on the East Coast, even though they're Central Time, depending on what day or year it is. That's two East Coast teams playing each other. They are shutting out financially the Midwest and the West Coast. So from a financial standpoint, I sometimes think there is a conspiracy theory. They may not allow the White Sox and the Braves to play because they're going to shut out the rest of the country, which is money and television.
He's telling you the truth. I mean,
Listen, Dewey, here's the worst part about this. The worst part about it is that these teams are fighting to do what? To get into the playoffs, to eventually win the World Series, but they try to win games so they could do what? Play at home. But no, not this year. Rob Manfred says, no, you're not going to play at home because we're going to have a bubble in baseball when we haven't had it all season. So these teams that have been playing at home and all the away games, whatever, they can't even play their games at home. And it's set up for the Texas Rangers to host the World Series in their stadium. I guess that's the only way they can get the trophy in their stadium because they sure as hell aren't going to win anything.
Come on, Saul, you have to understand that. I think this year was unprecedented. I mean, we all know it. This was a tough time, and people wanted baseball. So everybody had to say, give a little bit. The players had to give a little bit. The owners had to give a little bit. The GMs had to give a little bit. I mean, do you remember how long it was before the baseball players said, we ain't playing this crap at all? I mean, they kept going back and forth. Oh no, the heck with you. You want 100 games? Heck no, that ain't happening. You want it? No, So I hear you, but what we got to do though is get this pandemic behind us. If we can do that, the Braves are gonna be in every year. Do you see how good we are? Man, we just whooping ass.
I gotta say this. Now with the COVID, I'll let you finish up, Sam. With the COVID, I kind of see where they're going. Now look at it from the standpoint of this. If you are to keep everybody healthy, now look at the Miami, the baseball team, they pretty much getting everybody sick. Okay, so if you want to keep everybody healthy and you want consistency play, then you have to do things like this, maybe in the middle of the stream. Since you're at the Chicago River, I'm pretty sure somebody coming down the river had to do something very quick to keep that boat or to keep whatever it is that they're floating on water going in that right direction. So with everything that's happening in baseball, teams had to cancel their games because of the COVID. To finish the season, this was probably something that needed to be done if you want to finish the season.
I have to tell you, I am 100% against the idea of playing in your home stadium and then going to a neutral field, which baseball doesn't do that. The Super Bowl is played in a neutral field, generally speaking, unless you've done the unthinkable and actually defended your home field and won the Super Bowl, at home. But the fact is, baseball doesn't work that way. You fight in your home stadium. You play in your other stadiums. They have been very good about what's been going on. I think it's absolutely wrong to have the playoffs in these alleged bubbles. These are outdoor bubbles, mind you. If they were in a controlled environment, whether it's hockey or basketball, maybe so. But baseball's not played that way, not across the country. And I think it's 100% wrong. They could still enforce what they need to for player safety, as they have been doing, but you should be able to play the playoffs and the World Series in your home stadium. Absolutely. A big round of applause for that.
Let me ask you this. Do you think this could be something that they are analyzing to kind of see from, again, we all know money talks and
conspiracy theory,
all the other stuff.
Even it's conspiracy theory.
But we know at the end of the day, it's all about money. So if this is very successful, if you have, like you mentioned, the Super Bowl, because it's played in a neutral spot, that means those tickets can go up higher. Now, if you play it in your own place, then the tickets are kind of like at an average place. But the World Series tickets one day could be $1,500, $2,000 just for nosebleeds.
They were already there 20 years ago. They're already spending $5,000 on a World Series ticket. In Chicago, I'll give you an example. Right here in Chicago, in our last minute, I went to the 2005 World Series. I bought a couple tickets for my sister and myself. They were $2,000 a piece. Yes, $2,000 a piece.
Wow.
And that was in the
And he
upper
was in the
deck,
nosebleed.
even with third base. But my point is, those tickets today, they'll be maybe $6,000, $7,000, $10,000, especially for teams that aren't expected to be there. It's for me, I bought the tickets because I'm like, I don't know in my lifetime when the White Sox are going to get back to the World Series. That's for sure. And so I was happily paying the money. Say, here, you take the money, emptying my wallet, just throwing it at them. I want to get in the stadium. I went to game 1 of that World Series, and it was absolutely phenomenal against the Houston Astros. By the way, we're on the Astros radio network. And of course, coming up after the show is Astros baseball. All right, Tyrone, you have 30 seconds. Get us out of here with your final thoughts.
But you know what, Sal? You mentioned, now that's, if those tickets are that high for multiple games, a series, just think how much those tickets would be for one game. But you know what? Since we only got one show today, our ticket prices are very high too. Don't go nowhere because you're going to lose your seat. Somebody else going to jump in and watch the Sports Circus, but we'll be back. Stay tuned.
Do you have any questions about legal issues? Have you ever been stopped by a police officer and issued a ticket that you're scared to deal with? Have you ever been in trouble with the law and don't know what to do? Do you have a will or power of attorney question? Is your home being foreclosed upon and you don't know where to turn? Maybe you were given a contract that you don't understand. For freedom and a worry-free solution, call for Legal Shield today at 213-245-1305. It's that simple. You will have access to high-quality law firms that will fight for you for less than $1 a day. Peace of mind is just a call away. That's for Legal Shield. Call 213-245-1305 or visit us at nocourt.us. It's justice for all and not justice for some. Are you a small business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company has the answers you need. The American Business Trust Company can help you with startup capital, business strategy, sales and marketing, and establishing your company with a physical location or on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea, the American Business Trust Company can help with the rest. For a free evaluation, you may visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's ABTRUSTCO.com or call them at 657-600-1876. That's the American Business Trust Company, 657-600-1876. Call them today. They can help your business. This is Sal Tozzolino, host and remaster of the Sports Circus. Why listen to the same old dog and pony show that you've heard all day long? The Sports Circus covers everything that other shows don't or are too scared to cover. There's no primetime show like it out here that'll punch you in the mouth and you'll beg for more. You can call in and participate with our chaos if you dare. Join me and celebrity guests for Havoc and Mayhem weekdays at 5 p.m. Pacific here on AAMP.TV or stream the show live at thesportscircus.com. Remember, folks, it's a circus and we prove it every day.
In times of economic uncertainty and chaos, your money means nothing. You may not even be able to get it from your bank or ATM. And the money you do have in the stock market will go down and down. What you can bank on is gold and silver. Gold and silver have been a reliable and trusted form of currency for thousands of years. Gold and silver have never been worth zero, and typically gold holds its value during economic turmoil. Call the Gold Hotline now and learn how to protect your money and your assets with gold and silver. And learn how to set up a new IRA or roll over your current one into a gold-backed IRA. Protect your money from the next market crash with gold and silver. Call now for your free gold guide.
800-755-4281. 800-755-4281. 800-755-4281. That's 800-755-4281.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm no other than two-time Super Bowl champion and American Ninja Warrior Tyrone Poole. I'm joined today by Representative Dewey McClain. We were just at the Georgia State Capitol. Dewey McClain gave us opportunity. Great partners like himself, AAMP.TV, CBS, NBC, Fox, all of our affiliates. Great partners give us opportunity to put the Sports Circus in your face, in your ear, along with our ringmaster Sam. This segment of the Sports Circus is brought to you by Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation, where we reform, restore, and rebuild the family institution. If you want to learn more about Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation, go to Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation.org. Again, it's Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation.org. There you can give and get more information. Now back to the ringmaster himself, the great Sal.
All right, and a big round of applause for Tyrone Poole, two-time Super Bowl champion and American Ninja Warrior, and Mr. Georgia State House of Representatives. That'd be Dewey McClain. Also, folks, in case you don't know, a former NFL superstar. That was the guy, right? And he's having some good ribs and some good food over there at the bullpen. I'm jealous because I need to be there as well. All right, folks, make sure you check out thesportscircus.com for our upcoming guests, our prior guests, our podcast, as well as our partners. Some of our partners, of course, like the Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation. Make sure you check them out. And Tyrone, what was that address? Tyrone Poole Foundation 38, was it TP38.com?
Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation.org.
That's it. .org. A big round of applause for Tyrone Poole and the organization. All right, hey, listen, guys. I want to welcome in everybody listening in over in Las Vegas on 97.9 FM, as well as our friends right down the road in Atlanta over on WDJY 99.1 FM. Folks, make sure you check us out every day, as well as a big hello to our friends down in the greater Houston, Corpus Christi market. That'd be CBS Sports KSIX. 95.1, 96.1, and 1230 on the AM dial. Big hello to our friends over in Los Angeles on KCAA 106.5, 102.3, and 1050 AM, as well as our friends in Honolulu, CBS Sports 1500, KHKA, and also everybody streaming at YouTube. They're watching the Sports Circus. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button. All right, guys, I want to talk a little bit about this ongoing issue. Everybody says, oh, you know, the SEC is the best football conference and blah, blah, blah. I get sick of hearing this. I'm going to tell you why I get sick of hearing this. You know why? Because I'm looking at the all-time list, and the all-time list says Michigan, Ohio State 1 and 2, Nebraska, Penn State number 7 and 8. In the top 8, half of it's made of the Big Ten. And guess what? Only Alabama is at number 4. The next other team from the SEC is number 10. It don't even matter. It's not even a discussion.
Modern era.
Come on, man.
Modern era.
What is this list?
Modern
What's
era.
This list you talking about?
Modern era.
This list?
This is the all-time wins list. All-time. Come on, man.
Well, you know what? They just like Dewey said, they are now. Let's go back to last 20 years. Let's not go back to last 100 years. Let's go back to the last 20 years, and then let's do a recap. Let's do a recap and see what everybody follows. Yeah, see? Okay,
no.
so that's like Sam saying,
no, it's history.
Every decade presents some type of history. Okay, so we can take, for example, in football. Let's go back to when Peyton Manning broke those records passing. Okay, would you say he's the best all time, or would you say he's the best during that time when the rules? Or would you say Dan Marino? Or would you say Johnny Unitas? So every decade has its privileges. So let's go back the last 20 years and see which conference has the best football winning percentage.
I want to take the whole picture, not a snapshot. It's easy to manipulate the data. Come on, man. We've got a guy that's in Congress. This guy is in the Georgia State House of Representatives. You know, Dewey, you know as well as I do, it's easy to manipulate something. Come on, man.
And you're correct. You know, in fact, you know, I'm sorry we couldn't do the whole house, because in the house back in the old days, they modernized our desks now. So they've modernized them to the point that you got a page button. Back in the old days, they had a bell that you rung. So all I'm saying is I hear where you're going with this, but we got to come up into the modern day era of football, and we got to talk about what's going on now. But you can manipulate a lot of things. We call them Christmas trees. We say get a tree and then start putting ornaments on it, and start finding a bill that you like, and that's what happens.
But bottom line, Sal, you can't include everything. Now, what if they told you, Sal, let's go back to the wood burning stove and cook your steak? Since you want a brisket and all that, let's go back and cook your brisket. Yes. It's gonna take you a long time to eat, because from what I heard you say earlier in this show, you said once the show is over, you're going to pig out. Get it, pig out. You're gonna eat brisket. But anyways, brisket beef, right? Beef go. Either way, you say you're going to grub out. Cook your food on a wood burning stove. Okay, and you won't be eating until another 2 or 3 hours from after this show is over. So different rules, different. Okay, time out. Okay, what you got?
I don't even have a microwave in my house. I don't want fast food. I want good food. I will wait an hour or two. I'm going to cook that steak just right. We're going to put it over the open fire. We're going to do the right thing. I'm going to marinate that thing, and bam, I'm going to have some good food. So I don't want to hear about a snapshot in time. We're talking about in history, all of history, 20 years, who cares? I'm talking about 4 teams in the Big Ten. Yes, in the top 8, and only 1 from the SEC. Then we have an Alabama as number 4. We have Notre Dame at number 5, an independent sorta. And then we have Oklahoma at number 6. USC's at number 9. There's no sign of Georgia, LSU, Auburn, blah, blah, Texas A&M, blah, blah, blah. No sign of those guys. They're way down the trough. I don't even want to hear about it.
Yeah, I give you that, Sal. I would give you that all time. I give you that. But again, rules have changed. Remember, we opened up the show talking about the students from the CIAA having an opportunity. Well, 30, 40 years ago, they would not have been part of the statistics that now going forward would show that the playing field is level. So again, I hear you, Sal. I agree with you. All time. Let's go back. Add up the numbers. They are what they are. Like the late Dennis Green said, they are who they are. Well, the statistics would be what they are 100 years ago, long time ago. But the last 20 years, let's talk about the last 20 years. What have you done for me lately? That's what the NFL says. What have you done for me lately? Maybe in baseball too. So
they all say it.
Last 20 years, Sal.
Sal, you have to understand that we were babies and you crawled. But no, you didn't crawl. First you were just born, then you crawled, then you walked, then you're gonna crawl again. So right now we're in the walking stage. So therefore we got to take what we have the last 20 years or 30. I'll even go 30 years.
See, Sal, you're gonna learn about Sal. Sal has a little bit of law degree, so he gonna get on a point and he gonna stick with it. Even if he's wrong, he gonna stick with it because it's in his DNA. So both of y'all kind of go together.
I understand, Sal, but you have to understand, I'm a politician, but I'm a football player, and that's why I told Al. I'm that one that I know how to knock head, and I also know how to beat a head. So all I'm saying to you is that I hear you. I was my college first pro football player 44 years ago. Now all of a sudden the college, scouts are going to East Central. They were not going down there before. College scouts were not going to NCAA schools or HBCU schools. But when for Tyrone coming out being something, Fort Valley would never be on the map. So, but before then, they weren't going to Fort Valley. Where the Tyrone?
It's a lot of
some good players come out of Fort Valley, though. We've had other good players come out of Fort Valley from football and baseball.
But they had to start somewhere. See, that's what I'm saying. They had to start. So what I want you to realize is last 30 years. Let's just do the last 30 years and invite me back.
I know what, Sal. You better tell Eli the Dream Crusher that. You tell Eli the Dream Crusher that the SEC, you have a big argument on your hands.
No, let me tell you something about Eli the Dream Crusher. Eli the Dream Crusher, for some unbeknownst reason, is absolutely stuck with the Indianapolis Colts. And I'm going to finish the segment with this. Did the Colts really make a $25 million mistake with Phillip Rivers? I think they did. I mean, his ugly interceptions are certainly reason to worry. Now, there's no shortage of topics, of course, about football because we had no preseason. But Phillip Rivers, on the other hand, is a whole different animal. This guy is an interception machine. He seems to play 58 minutes a game. And in the same light, you're talking about what have you done for me lately? I'm going to tell you what Phillip Rivers has done lately. He does the same damn thing he's done his whole career. He finds the other team's jersey and conveniently throws it to them. That's what I'm thinking about Eli the Dream Crusher and your arguments about the SEC. I don't care about 10 years, 20, 30 years. I'm talking about in history. History says the Big Ten is the superior conference. End of discussion. There is no other discussion. We think about history. And I'll let you finish up, Tyrone.
But you know what? The history is that Mr. Dewey McClain, Representative Dewey McClain, has signed off on some great bills that have changed people's lives, not only in the community that he represents, but also here today on the Sports Circus. We were down at the Georgia State Capitol. Now we're here at the bullpen. So people don't go nowhere. We'll be right back with more Sports Circus because we are making history ourselves.
Do you have any questions about legal issues? Have you ever been stopped by a police officer and issued a ticket that you're scared to deal with? Have you ever been in trouble with the law and don't know what to do? Do you have a will or power of attorney question? Is your home being foreclosed upon and you don't know where to turn? Maybe you were given a contract that you don't understand. For freedom and a worry-free solution, call for Legal Shield today at 213-245-1305. It's that simple. You will have access to high-quality law firms that will fight for you for less than $1 a day. Peace of mind is just a call away. That's for Legal Shield. Call 213-245-1305 or visit us at nocourt.us. It's justice for all and not justice for some. Are you a small business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company has the answers you need. The American Business Trust Company can help you with startup capital, business strategy, sales and marketing, and establishing your company with a physical location or on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea, the American Business Trust Company can help with the rest. For a free evaluation, you may visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's abtrustco.com or call them at 657-600-1876. That's the American Business Trust Company, 657-600-1876. Call them today. They can help your business right away. This is Sal Tuzolino, host and remaster of the Sports Circus. Why listen to the same old dog and pony show that you've heard all day long? The Sports Circus covers everything that other shows don't or are too scared to cover. There's no primetime show like it out here that'll punch you in the mouth and you'll beg for more. You can call in and participate with our chaos if you dare. Join me and celebrity guests for Havoc and Mayhem weekdays at 5 p.m. Pacific here on AAMP.TV or stream the show live at thesportscircus.com. Remember, folks, it's a circus and we prove it every day. So, you want to be in show business. Do people tell you that you're really funny, you have a great personality, and you should have your own talk show? Many of us have been told that, but we don't know how to get started. It's easier than you think. Let the pros at Cali Vegas give you a free talent evaluation. Call 949-445-1119 and learn how quickly you can create, produce, and host your very own talk show. Imagine not having to sit in traffic every day, commuting back and forth to the same old boring job. Get started in television or radio today with your free talent evaluation from Cali Vegas. Call 949-445-1119 or visit them online at calivegas.com. Make your dream come true today and create your new career and learn how to become a television or radio star with the help of Cali Vegas. 949-445-1119. Call now.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster Sal, live from the AAMP.TV mobile studios here in downtown Chicago at the Riverwalk, right along the banks of the Chicago River. What a glorious sight, folks. This segment brought to you in part by Legal Shield, providing legal protection and peace of mind. Legal Shield could help with traffic tickets, texting and driving, DUIs, court appearances, estate planning, even contracts given to people they don't understand, plus a whole lot more. For more information, contact Legal Shield at 213-245-1305. That's 213-245-1305. Or visit them online for more information at nocourt.us. That's nocourt.us. And welcome back to everybody listening in on our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast, including our friends also on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and those in Las Vegas on 97.9 FM, as well as everybody on YouTube. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Here with two-time Super Bowl champion and American Ninja Warrior Tyrone Poole and the great Dewey McClain from the Georgia State House of Representatives. A big round of applause for both of those guys, because you know what? They're going to order me some big old baby back ribs that we're going to be very excited about.
There you go. Baby back ribs, the barbecue baked beans. You got to love it. You got to love it. So you got to come down south. It's nothing like Atlanta. Now, I like Atlanta because just the atmosphere, and also I like it because of the weather. You know, you got the fires out there on the West Coast. You got sometimes too much snow up north. You got the hurricanes down south. But right here, nestled right in the middle, Atlanta, is really, man, it's good weather. You get all 4 seasons, and you get to come to the bullpen and eat some briskets.
And ribs.
Oh, yes. Baby back ribs. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Hey, guys, let me ask you a question. What do you think about the NFL? They won't move the trade deadline off the election date, despite the league facilities, of course, are going to be closed. Now, the league has announced just recently that the NFL teams and facilities will be closed for Election Day, and it is to, quote, allow all players and staff to have an opportunity to vote and for non-player staff to engage in safe and appropriate work on Election Day, for example, as a poll worker, close quote. Now, the memo addressed questions that arose since then and allows for people to be away from work for the day. Now, it stresses for clubs to, quote, minimize number of staff who are present on Election Day, close quote, in relation to the trade deadline. Now, per the memo, quote, third, coaches, players, personnel, and video staff may be present to prepare for coming week's games to evaluate possible players' transactions for the purpose. Now, free agent tryouts may also occur at the facilities, and the league office will be staffed to handle all player personnel and transaction, close quote. What do you think about the idea of maybe adjusting the trade deadline for the NFL because of, well, we have Election Day? What are your thoughts on that? I don't think they really planned that out too well.
Well, let me just say this. They thought about it, but what I'm glad to see us do is take that social step to make sure that people can go out and vote and be safe. You know, a lot of the NBA clubs are following what the Hawks did by opening up their arena to allow people to come in and vote safely and quickly. And you know, and we talked about COVID a lot. A lot of the poll workers in the old days, well, in recent time, where everybody was people over 50, 60, some 70. So what they're trying to say now is we need to get some younger poll workers in. I'm sorry, I think I smell more fresh barbecue, but it's one of those things that we must do by being social conscious. Now, by not moving the trade deadline, I mean, in the NFL, they know what they know. They know it. These people know who they want. They know who they don't want, and they know they'll give Phillip Rivers $25 million, and they know they'll give Tom Brady $50 million, and they won't give Colin Kaepernick an opportunity.
What do you think about $25 million? How many slabs of rib can we get for $25 million? Because I would take the slabs of rib and I would throw a German Shepherd on the field for the Indianapolis Colts. I almost said Baltimore Colts. For the Indianapolis Colts ahead of Phillip Rivers. Give me the German Shepherd because he can put the ball in his mouth and he can run down the field and score every time.
don't know. You may have a good one right there, Sam. I'm like between the German Shepherd and Phillip Rivers. Man, I think I would go with the German Shepherd too. But Phillip Rivers, of course. Yeah, Sam. There you go, right there.
Look at
for
this.
all those now, for those who are listening, see, this is what you're missing it out when you don't subscribe and you see us live. But man, Dewey is showing some great ribs. Man, he got the potato salad. He got the cornbread. Again, with the bullpen, great food. That's how quickly you can get your mind off of the German Shepherd and off of Phillip Rivers by looking at some of these ribs.
Hey, you know what, guys? A little bit, about a couple of hours away from you, right down the interstate, just past Fort Valley, across the Alabama line, is a little town over there called Auburn. And you're going to have to check out a little place called the Mason Jar. The Mason Jar, great people own it. There's some good friends of mine. Let me tell you, if you want some good eats, some good Southern cooking, I have not had a better meal anywhere in the, and that's a big statement, in the southern half of the U.S. at a restaurant than the Mason Jar over there in Auburn, Alabama. Let's give them a big round of applause. Make sure to check them out, the Mason Jar.
We had the bullpen.
Danny does a great job over there. Make sure you tell him that the Sports Circus sent you, and so then he doesn't give you a punch in the mouth.
Yeah, I know.
Will he get it complimentary like Sal? Because when we get, you'll get your first one here when you come here complimentary.
Like I said, the Mason Jar, it's a lot of great little small eateries around this country. And that's basically those small places, that's where you get the best cooking, I believe. So whether it's the Mason Jar or if it's some other small eatery around this country, I'm pretty sure, hey, the Sports Circus, and I know, Sal, you love to travel. So you're about like Phillip Rivers. You travel from San Diego, West Coast. Now he's in Indianapolis. So you got to get it. He's traveling. He's being traded. So, but you travel a lot. You get an opportunity to go into a lot of these restaurants. So, hey, the Mason Jar or whatever. Great food. Great
All
sports.
Phillip Rivers is doing is traveling from city to city collecting paychecks. He don't give a damn about the NFL. He just wants to get paid so he can, all them kids he's got, they can all go and have extra slabs of ribs.
Yeah. Didn't he say he's going to go into coaching after he finishes?
Yeah, could you imagine that? He already yells at his kids all the time. He already yelled at his players in San Diego and L.A. Now he's going to be yelling at his players in Indianapolis, just like the kids at home, in my estimation. So why would he do that?
Well, he's really good at keeping everybody involved. Even if it's the people on the other team, they're still involved.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't say I can understand. But my ribs look so good. And they smoke. I want to say Kevin probably smoked these ribs probably about maybe 8, 9, 10 hours.
But just like Phillip Rivers, I'm gonna get off Phillip Rivers, man, because I don't like to talk about nobody
for about 14 years.
That's why I was about to make a joke. But I said, you know what? I'm gonna come. Because he's a professional. You don't get in this league by not doing something. So there's something that he has done right. He just hadn't smoked his meat long enough to bring home a Super Bowl trophy to his team. So maybe the $25 million, I have him give him an opportunity to smoke a little bit more and maybe bring a trophy to the coach, which I don't think so.
Well, I just don't know. I just thought Tom Brady.
I still love you, Phillip. I love you.
Hey, he better love him.
I'm glad you do, because I don't.
His old quarterback couldn't throw it out the other day, so I don't know. I hope that he get a little more arm strength at 43.
Phillip couldn't throw his way out of a wet paper bag, in my opinion. That dude does not belong in the Hall of Fame. I'm sorry. No.
Is he being considered for the Hall of Fame? Phillip Rivers?
Believe it or not. I think really the deciding factor is as long as he can get 1,000 interceptions, maybe he'll get in.
Maybe get in. So he got to break Brett Favre's record.
Go back.
Brett threw a lot of interceptions.
Hey, we're talking about history. We're not talking about the last 20 years, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Phillip Rivers is going to outpace everybody for interceptions, and somehow mediocrity would find itself in the Hall of Fame. This is exactly what Deion Sanders was talking about. Anybody could get in these days.
Yes, I agree with that. The Hall of Fame should be very specific. I don't care what type of numbers you put up. I definitely believe there should be a high standard. And right now, they're letting anybody in who brings up any type of conversation that you did me wrong, but it is what it is. You should have certain types of records. You should have certain type of status, and just add in also, some of the things that you may do in the community or to help your team. But
yes.
I think, again, they are letting too many people get in. It's becoming watered down. It's almost to the point where I would rather be an all-pro than to be in the Hall of Fame, because all pros, they're voted by people who know football, so to speak.
Right.
Unlike the Pro Bowl, even if you go down to the Pro Bowl level, it's voted by the fans. Nothing against the fans, but I think when your peers say that you are good, then you are good, because there are some fans, they only like particular players. There are certain sports writers that only like certain players. But when your peers say you are good, then that is saying something.
Well, so all I can say to help you a little bit on is that you got to be out of the league 5 years. So if Philip keep on playing for another 10 years, it'll be a while before he can be up for consideration. And I don't think he'll be a first ballot.
Dewey, he shouldn't even be up for consideration for anything except one of the biggest choke artists in the National Football League. That's how I feel. And I can say that because I didn't play in the league. You two played in the league. I didn't play in the league. So I could say he's a choke artist, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, if you don't win, then you will be considered that choke artist. So, again, talking about the Hall, talking about voting, whether it's the Hall, definitely there should be strict stipulations. And as far as the voting, the NFL, they should move that trade deadline. But of course, like Dewey said, the NFL's NFL. Sometimes I think they believe they are bigger than the earth. And
yep. I'll tell you what, folks, we're coming up here on the end of the segment. So we want to make sure that you check out the Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation, as well as Dewey McClain down there in Georgia in the State House of Representatives. Couple of great guys down there, and they're with us. Let me tell you something. I think we're going to bring Dewey back more on a regular basis. He's going to have to show up with yet another plate of ribs every time, because there's nothing better than a nice plate of ribs. And I don't care what time of the day, whether it's for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or at 3 a.m, give me a nice big barreling plate of baby back ribs. But I'll tell you what, folks, that's going to do it for today's show. I'm your Ringmaster Sal. A big thanks for Tyrone Poole, 2-time Super Bowl champion and American Ninja Warrior, and of course the great Dewey McClain from the Georgia State House of Representatives. Thanks both of them for showing up today, and thanks for everybody else tuning in, and we'll see you next time right here on your favorite station. Until then, so long, everyone.
So, you want to be in show business. Do people tell you that you're really funny, you have a great personality, and you should have your own talk show? Many of us have been told that, but we don't know how to get started. It's easier than you think. Let the pros at Cali Vegas give you a free talent evaluation. Call 949-445-1119 and learn how quickly you can create, produce, and host your very own talk show. Imagine not having to sit in traffic every day, commuting back and forth to the same old boring job. Get started in television or radio today with your free talent evaluation from Cali Vegas. Call 949-445-1119 or visit them online at calivegas.com. Make your dream come true today and create your new career and learn how to become a television or radio star with the help of Cali Vegas. 949-445-1119. Call now.